My name is Norm Cairns. I wrote this book, Mistakes, Misstatements, Lies, and Other Miscommunication Tactics. It's for sale on various sites. My previous videos dealt with interrogation. This is a change of topic. I am a former journalist, federal prosecutor, and I am currently a private investigator. But for purposes of this video, I am an NRA pistol instructor, qualified to teach 3 courses, a concealed carry instructor, a level 3 armed security professional, and an expert marksman. Gunpowder was discovered or created in China about 900 AD by a Taoist monk. He was trying to make medicine to heal the sick. To this day, the Chinese word for gunpowder translates to fire medicine. Obviously, gunpowder had few medicinal purposes, but it was the first explosive material. Although gunpowder never really explodes, it just burns really fast. This was black gunpowder as opposed to the smokeless gunpowder commonly used today. The difference is that black gunpowder burns slowly and inconsistently, whereas smokeless powder burns really fast and consistently. Neither really explodes. Much of the noise you hear when a pistol is fired is only partly the rapid expansion of gas from the burning powder. The crack you hear from a pistol is the sound of the bullet breaking the sound barrier as it leaves the barrel of the pistol. Black powder is a mixture of sulfur, charcoal, which is mostly carbon, and potassium nitrate or saltpeter. Saltpeter is an oxidizer which allows the carbon and sulfur to catch fire. The Chinese recipe contained too much carbon and sulfur and not enough saltpeter, so it was pretty crappy. And the Chinese did not develop firearms. They made crude bombs, fire cannons which spewed forth only flames and smoke. They would also strap gunpowder bags to arrows and light them right before firing. The recipe for gunpowder made its way to Arabia through the Silk Road, which was a trade route. The Arabs improved it vastly and developed firearms, weapons designed to expel a projectile. This is a photo I took myself in the United Arab Emirates. It is one of the first firearms ever produced. For some time during the Crusades, the Arabs occupied and ruled the southern half of Spain. They were known as the Moors. The Alhambra is a Moorish palace, so the recipe for gunpowder spread to Europe. Its impact on military operations was minimal. Muskets were developed, but muskets are notoriously inaccurate. When a bullet travels through the barrel of a musket, it bounces back and forth between the sides of the barrel. So where the bullet ends up depends on that last bounce. Moreover, there were already vastly superior weapons in the field. At the Battle of Agincourt in the 14th century, a British longbowman had an effective range of 300 yards and could drive an arrow right through plate armor. The European armies also had crossbows, which were extremely accurate as well. Muskets were so inaccurate, it didn't really matter whether they were long or short. What changed? Rifling, or grooves in the barrel. No one really knows who invented it, but a rifle barrel squeezes and shapes the bullet as it leaves the gun. Perhaps more importantly, it causes the bullet to spin. Think about it as throwing a football. Would you toss a football to someone or throw a spiral, which spins the football, making it a lot more accurate? The same is true with a bullet. British longbowmen knew this already and had designed the feathered shafts of their arrows so that the arrow would spin. With rifling, firearms became a lot more useful. With a rifle firearm, the longer the barrel, the more accurate the shot. This is one of my rifles, a CZ457 Jaguar, which has a 28-inch barrel and is extremely accurate. Given that pistols or short firearms would never be as accurate as rifles, why did they continue to develop? The pistol offered 2 advantages: concealment and, more importantly, rapid deployment, especially at relatively close range. Pistols developed very differently in the United States than in Europe. In Europe, a wealthy person could conceal a pistol in his or her clothing in case someone tried to rob them. Aristocrats in Europe also used pistols to kill one another in duels. Thus, European pistols were elegant in design and smaller than their American counterparts. Americans at the time, being the 16th or 17th centuries, needed rapid deployment, not concealment. The Americas were a dangerous place. There were hostile Native American tribes defending their land. Perhaps worse, North America was home to the largest predators on Earth, unlike anything that existed in Europe. Enormous timber wolves and the grizzly bear, which stands 8 feet tall and weighs 2,000 pounds. An Indian tiger is just a house cat compared to a grizzly bear, and those bears certainly ate people along with everything else. America at the time was a large forest, so the beasts of the forest, bears and wolves, evolved here more than they did in Europe. So an American frontiersman would have a Kentucky long rifle strapped to his back or holstered in his saddle, but it took a long time to load it, so if he came upon a grizzly bear, well, first of all, he and his horse were probably dead. There was no way he was going to get that rifle off his back, load it, and defend himself, but he might be able to rummage in his saddlebag and find his pistol. He only had one shot, but if it was a good one, it might save his life. Ignition sources went through a wide variety of iterations, the matchlock, the wheel lock. I won't discuss these here. The best at the time to develop was the flintlock. This is a flintlock pistol under construction. The vise held a piece of flint. When the trigger was pulled, the hammer would fall, causing the flint to hit the striker plate and sending sparks to enter the barrel to ignite the black powder. If you have heard the phrase, a flash in the pan, this is the pan. A flash in the pan represents a firearm that produces a flash in the pan but fails to fire. It has come to mean an effort that produces nothing. So for centuries, flintlocks were king. Even flintlocks had rifled barrels, so they were a lot more accurate than muskets. The flintlock ruled the day until it didn't. As I wrote earlier, the flintlock fired only a single shot. We will discuss who fixed that problem in the next part of the series, the revolver.